Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome at this webinar organized in the framework of the QUALICheck project. And as a matter of fact, it's this time a somewhat special webinar, as it is the final one in a total of 16 webinars, which have been held over the last 3 years. As QUALICheck started on March the 1st, 2014, so exactly 3 years ago, and today is the last day of the QUALICheck project. And therefore, we thought it was good to have a webinar where, let's say, more or less the overall picture of the activities of the QUALICheck project are presented to you. So, and that's the objective of this webinar as the last day of the QUALICheck project. Just to inform you, so by the end of the project itself, it does not mean that the activities which we have set up in the framework of QUALICheck will stop. As a matter of fact, the QUALICheck activities will continue in the context of the QUALICheck platform. And if you go to the website QUALICheckplatform.eu, you will see there a section platform where more information about the platform activities will be provided. So my name is PWouters. I'm the manager of INIVE IEIG, and I'm also the coordinator of the QUALICheck project. As an introduction, and some of you might have heard it before, I would like to start with the household appliance sector, like a washing machine you see here. And there I think we are all already for a long time familiar with the fact that these kind of machines are labeled, have an energy label. And so it means that if you have a label A, you have the right to expect that this is more energy efficient than B, C, D, or E. And so as a customer and also as society, I think that it's important that you can have trust in this label, so that it really is for you a good sign to take decisions, including the aspect of energy efficiency. But of course, if you buy a washing machine, your first reason is not to be energy efficient. Your first reason is that you want to have clean clothing. So, and therefore, I think it's very important that this machine has a good quality. And so, of course, within the framework of QUALICheck and within the framework of the energy program of the Commission, energy efficiency is very important, but at the same time, of course, you want to have a good overall quality. Now, if I make now the link to the building sector, and this is not directly a nice building, but okay, you see there is also reviews on it. As you know, all buildings have now to be labeled when they are new, sold, or on rent, so they need an energy performance certificate. And like for the household appliances, also here, I think you have the right to expect that this label is reliable. So if you have a label A, that you indeed may assume that this is more energy efficient than if the building would have a label B. So exactly the same as for these household appliances, you expect a reliable label. And also, I would say, as in the case of the household appliances, you should have the right to expect a good quality. Meaning that in terms of for example, durability, that you will not have after a number of years this kind of problems. And if you take then an example more linked to energy in buildings, if for example you decide to install a photovoltaic system, that after a heavy storm that you don't have, like in this picture here, the system hanging in front of the facade. And so if you speak about quality, it has to do with energy in the sense that you don't only want a theoretical performance, but you want also, let's say, an overall good performance. Take the PV that indeed it delivers what you want, you expect in terms of kilowatt hours, but that also in terms of stability, like you see here, or durability, a long lifetime, that you have a good system, and also that you can say overall, this system has good performance, this is meeting what as a client you can expect. And so basically this is the overall context of QUALICheck. And basically we have two objectives and two set of activities. That is, on the one hand, we want to set up a series, or we want it because, as you know, it's the last day of the project. We want to set up a series of actions which should result in more attention and practical initiatives for actual compliance with the EPC for new and renovated buildings. Or said in simple words, create boundary conditions which force people to do what they declare, or that they declare what they have done. And that's so with respect to the EPC. And the second objective has then to do with the quality of the works, and basically the same, I would say, objective. Also here a set of actions which should result in more attention and practical initiatives for achieving a better quality of the works, or said in simpler words, boundary conditions which stimulate and allow the building sector to deliver good quality of the works. Just a small remark about the phrase "and allow," because we have identified a number of cases where you can clearly see that that's in the market not easy at all for the contractors, for the executors to deliver the good quality, because there is so much competition and because a reference framework for quality is lacking. So sometimes you need good boundary conditions that the good workman force can indeed deliver also the good quality. So basically, in that you will hear in the next presentations, we have done a number of activities around the status on the ground. So to find in practice, but what is the situation today, whether it's in terms of EPC compliance or quality of the works. We have then done a number of activities around compliant and easily accessible input data, around quality of the works, and also around interesting approaches for quality compliance frameworks and also existing compliance frameworks. In principle, the scope of QUALICHeCK is basically everything dealing with energy efficiency and renewables, but in order to have sufficient focus, we have identified 4 key areas, namely transmission characteristics, ventilation and air tightness, sustainable summer comfort techniques, and renewables and multi-energy systems. So that with respect to the technologies. With respect to the coverage at European level, we believe that the findings are valid for the whole of Europe, but we have identified 9 focus countries, which you see here on the map with the green circle. And so we have tried to have countries which more or less represent the whole variation you find in Europe. So you see countries with a cold to very cold climate like Sweden, Estonia, with a very warm, hot climate like Cyprus, Greece, Spain. Big countries like France and Spain, small countries like Cyprus. Countries with already a good tradition in quality of the work frameworks, other countries with, I would say, quite advanced approaches about EPC compliance. In that sense, we hope that we have, at the end, a good collection of interesting cases. We have now, as we are at the end of the project, basically all the deliverables available, and you can split them up in, let's say, deliverables which focus on the status on the ground, which is also important for the awareness raising. Deliverables around the, let's say, interesting approaches, and then finally about guidance for improvements. But a detailed overview will be presented later on by Alexander Deliyannis. So the program of the webinar, you have seen it before. I just quickly go through it to conclude my introduction. So the status on the ground will be presented by Susanne Geissler. EPC compliance, good practice and guidance by François Durier. Quality of the works, also here good practice and guidance by Hans Erhorn. And then Alexander Deliyannis will, let's say, give an overview of the deliverables. And at the end, I will quickly come back with some conclusions and closing of this webinar. So I really hope that you will enjoy the webinar. And I give now the floor to Susanne for presenting status on the ground with specific focus on the 9 countries I mentioned before. Thank you.